Hey everybody, it's Miss Limer again. Right now we're going to talk about odd and even numbers. Now, odd and even numbers are something that you've been learning about since at least first grade, if not kindergarten. You know odd and even numbers, but there's a new part to it in third grade. There's just one thing that you have to remember about even numbers, and that's it. So we're basically just adding to knowledge that you already have. So here's our poster for odd and even numbers. We'll start with even numbers. Even numbers means that the number has no leftovers. That means there's none left. If you were to share it evenly between two people, there would be no leftovers. Each person would get the same amount. Even numbers end in a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. That means the digit in the ones place is either a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. And here's the new third grade thing. Even numbers are divisible by 2. And that sounds really fancy, but all that means is that it can be evenly divided by 2. It can evenly be shared between two things or two groups. So here's my example with 28. So what I did was I put tallies 1, 2, 3, 4, and I kept going until I got to 28. Remember from my division video, we talked about how when you're fair sharing, you have to be careful not to go over your total. So I took my 28 and I fair shared and I ended up with 14 in each. So that tells me 14 plus 14 is 28. There's no leftovers, right? It ends in a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. And it's divisible by 2. It was able to be evenly divided by 2. So the number 28 is an even number, okay? The opposite of an even number is an odd number, okay? In an odd number, there's always one left over. So there's always that one where you're dividing between you and somebody else and there's that one leftover thing, okay? It can't be divided evenly. Like I said, there's that one leftover. If I get it, that's not fair. If you get it, that's not fair. There's one leftover. And odd numbers end in a 1, a 3, 5, 7, or 9. So if I take my number 27 and I fair share, this one had 14 in the group, and this one had 13 in the group. And if you remember me saying in my division video that division is all about things being equal. That's not equal, that's not fair, right? So if you ended up with 14 and I ended up 13, I would be mad. If I ended up with 14 and you ended up with 13, you would be mad. So we have to make sure that everyone's happy and everyone has an equal amount. So here are two examples, one even example and one odd example. And I'm just gonna show you how you can fair share in order to figure out if a number is odd or even. Fair sharing is something that you've done in division, so this shouldn't be new. And if in doubt, you can always look at that ones place number. And if it ends in a 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0, it's divisible by 2. If it ends in a 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, it's not divisible by 2. So here's my first example, 14. So if you're doing 14, you take it and you're just gonna fair share out 14. Let's see if I can do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember, you're gonna cross your fifth. 9, 10. Am I there yet? Nope, I have to go all the way to my total. 11, 12, 13, 14. So I got to my total and it's a little bit messy, but I got to my total, so I have to stop. Remember, you can't go over your total. So in each group, I have 7. I have 7 in this group and 7 in this group. Do I have any leftovers? I don't have any leftovers. So I know that because I have 7 in this group and 7 in this group, that this number is divisible by 2. Because when I took the number and I shared it evenly between two groups, there were no leftovers. Here's the next number, 7. So let's go ahead and fair share 7. We're gonna divide it into two groups to see if it's divisible by 2. Hopefully you already know the answer. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you see what's going on here? One group has 4 and one group has 3. We have a leftover. We can't have a leftover in even numbers. So because when I divided 7 by 2, I had a leftover, this number is odd. It is not divisible by 2. So here are the important points to remember. Even numbers are divisible by 2. If you look in the ones place on an even number, you will see a 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Odd numbers are not divisible by 2, and there's always 1 left over. If you look at the ones place in an odd number, you're going to see a 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9.